Night defeat down at Southampton. Reece James is back from illness in a back five, we think, alongside Thiago Silva. Conor Gallagher returns, as does Mateo Kovacic, and that man, Wesley Farfana, makes his Chelsea debut at Stamford Bridge this afternoon. Christian Pulisic starts up top alongside Raheem Sterling as well. Plenty of players, plenty of options. The game coming your way very shortly. Hello and welcome to Matchday Live in the company of Zach and Jason. Boys, little reunion, aren't we?
Indeed, haven't had this in a while.
It's been nice, isn't it, Jace? Lovely to have you here.
Thank you for welcoming back.
Lovely to be at a distance as well, so I don't get bruises.
Exactly. Well, yes, this is very true. This is very true. So hopefully there won't be too many punches being thrown.
Let's talk about it, because Chelsea threw some punches in the transfer window, got business done, dealt with it very, very well. Biggest spenders in the window, most active, one of the most active teams in the window as well, but a very good window overall.
It has been, yeah. Look, Bodie's come in. It's a very difficult place to come into. With all that happened last season with the sanctions, a standing start. He's wet behind the ears. He's come into a transfer window which is ruthless. We might have paid a little bit over the odds on some of those players. It's not my money. All I want to see was players come in. We've rectified the errors we need. We saw that Christensen left. Really got big misses. Koulibaly has come in. We've seen Wesley start today, which is great to see. Cucurella, massive fan. Alonso's gone. Wish him all the best. So there's been all of that. Getting some of the players out is often one of the biggest jobs at a football club. Bringing them in is easy because you just throw money at it. Getting them out of these big contracts or getting them out, and again, Ross, wishing him all the best as well. I think he's done brilliantly. This was a tough window. We've gone into it with our eyes wide open. We don't know what's coming at us. I think he'll learn a huge amount. And getting Aubameyang, I was really sceptical about whether we get a striker in. We needed a striker. We've got a top striker. We really have a man that knows where the back of the net is. Overall, I think we've done really, really well. Really excited to see what we look like.
I think you're right. Most Chelsea fans are feeling the same, actually, on social media the last couple of days. Really pleased with the window in general. Signing Oba, Farfana and Sterling, to name a few. Good luck to Alonso and Gilmour, you've already touched on there, Jace. And the rest as well. Yeah, plenty of players that have departed, all wishing them very well. All in all, a good transfer window for Chelsea. It's now time to win games consistently. #deadline day. And this one as well. Overall, good transfer window for Chelsea. Had too many issues to fix all in one window, but all of our signings are very important. I think January is going to be big for us too as well. Obviously, Zach, the big players that have come in, Wesley Farfana starts today. He looks like the one, doesn't he? The one that is the missing piece of the jigsaw we've been after. Yeah, I mean, he adds to it. Look, losing Christensen and Antonio Rudiger the way we did was tough, especially someone like Rudiger as well. Under Thomas Tuchel, he was kind of the main man, the Mr. Consistent. Bringing in Koulibaly and Farfana really, really helps. And as for Wesley, like, he's a guy who, it may have been a big fee, but he signed a long contract, and there is a possibility he's going to be in that back line for Chelsea over the next 10 years. Add to the fact as well that he's been a fan since he was a kid. Absolutely loved Didier Drogba, as you do when you're kind of from the south of France. it makes sense. But he's a guy that we've seen in the Premier League as well, which is a big thing. I think something you notice a lot from our signings, actually. There is Premier League experience. Cucurella, Sterling, Aubameyang, Wesley Farfana. Really, only Koulibaly is the one that's come from outside. And so we've wanted to take players that we've seen have been successful in the Premier League. And Farfana, when he was 19, his first year at Leicester, looked the real deal. Well, let's talk more about Wesley in a second, but first, let's hear from the man himself.
It's a dream for me. I'm here. He's incredible. I'm very, very happy. It's crazy because the fun is just closing the pitch, and in the game it's crazy. It's very nice. I'm very happy. It's nice shirt, and he's very, very excited to play here, play for Chelsea. It's very, very good day for me. My pose is this.
Yeah, is this one? Let's do this one now. We're going to look for your go-to.
Chelsea for Drogba, because I'm a very big fan of Drogba, and I watch every game. And I remember the final in the Champions League. I don't know Kanté, but just for the guy. I love the personality. I love the guy. He's nice. He's a nice guy.
Heart-shaped thing like that.
Yeah. My wedding, because before it's broke, and after my wedding, now my heart It's not just this. And in my social media, I have a hashtag pour eux, and it's for my family, for my friends, for the fans. They support me every day. It's just for this. I hope to be like the legend, the Saïd Makelele, and I hope
Your
this.
banner, of course, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I hope in 20 years, maybe I have my band, I hope. I give everything because I love this club, it's my dream, and I give everything. I'm guy in the pitch, I give everything for the club, for the fans. He's a very good guy, and I like the personality. He's very rage, and I like this, and I hope work the ASP. And I'm very excited for tomorrow because I go to the training ground, I speak the guy, and I'm very excited. I'm a very good guy, every time smile, and a little funny, but after in the pitch, I'm very angry guy, and is me. Favorite food? No, it's maybe pasta, cream sauce, chicken. Easy. No. Yeah, easy. I like this. Every day, this is good.
You cook?
Yeah, I'm very good cook. I'm very, yeah. Rap UK, rap French rap, everything, and rap US. Very rap. Very rap. I come maybe 2-3 times in London. No long day, but just for the shopping, just for the restaurant. And I'm very excited because it's big city. Favorite movies? Django. You know Django? Uncharted? Yeah.
Jamie Foxx?
Yeah, I like this movie. Yeah, I like watch the Formula 1, basketball, and just this, or just football. Lewis Hamilton, of course. Of course. Rhys James. Yeah, the same. This is the real.
Probably only
Rhys.
15.
No Rhys, it's me.
Perfect.
I speak Rhys in the Instagram. I speak Edouard Mendy in the Instagram, and in the Instagram Cucurella. Every player, not just one. Rhys James, he texts me a message in Instagram. Is 1 month. 1 month ago, and you come, you and me play in right back, and I love this. It's good for the confiance. It's good, and it's my guy now. Yeah, it's okay. What's the menu? This is the wine. It's not for me. Yeah, here chicken, pasta, cream sauce, little cheddar. That's it. It's perfect. I like the English football because it's more aggressive. It's for defender. I like this. I played number 9 because I like Drogba, and I played in the number 9 in the young, and after leave this and back and go defender. It's not for me. It's not for me number 9.
Who are the top 5 athletes in your eyes?
Drogba, Lewis Hamilton, Maldini, LeBron James.
Over LeBron over Michael?
Yeah, of course. Of course. Nah, LeBron is the best. For sure, the best. And Kyrie Irving, because I like the guy. Guys, thank you for the watching. I hope you learn about me, and see you soon.
Love that. Every Chelsea fan's going to be lapping that up. What a great personality.
Oh,
He's obviously joined the group already, so he's been training this week, Jace, but already you can see his personality seeping out for such a young man.
Yeah, there's a lot going on there. An intelligent boy. I love the way that whenever we sign foreign players at such a young age, their English is absolutely perfect. But there's just a lovely way, a nature, like nice way about the boy. I think he can be very endearing in this. I'd love to play with him. You're watching that now. You can imagine being in the restaurant with him, being in the change room, being on the pitch with him. You know, all of those things, the ingredients you need to have a great teammate On the pitch, off the pitch, relaxing, away from the dressing room. He ticks a lot of boxes there. And that smile, the way he talks about food, we talk about Chelsea. Do you know what I mean? But there's a passion there.
Yeah.
You know, the passion with the food, the passion about Didier. You know, there's a lot going on there. We've all seen it. No names mentioned. We've all seen players, and we hear the interviews, and we go, yeah. I can imagine him sitting in here now with us, talking exactly the way we are, completely the same as us. I love that.
Completely right, and you can see already just fitting right in, and that's so important, isn't it, to get into that straight away. Let's get some more social media reaction, because there's quite a lot that we've been seeing over the last couple of days. Farfana also confirmed, we saw in that video, Reece James is my guy after talking to him on Instagram and after he copied his haircut. We're going to have to get Reece's right to reply on this, by the way, OK? Wesley Farfana with the original, Reece James with the replica. Love it both. That synergy already is fantastic. That from Adam Newson's clocked that one there. And this one here is really cool. The best thing about Chelsea signing Farfana is that Reece James will get to play his full strength at right wing back, and that means more tears for rival fans. That's a really good point, Zach, isn't it? Because Reece has said to Wesley about playing together. That right-hand side, if it's Wesley Farfana and Reece James, that's not just a problem now, that's a problem for the next decade.
Yeah, goodness gracious. I mean, we'd always say, like, oh, if there's a pacey winger, like, OK, maybe you do put Reece James there to help deal with it. We have done, and actually before when we've played Leicester, you've seen Reece James play there to deal with Vardy. And now you've got Wesley there, who's also very, very quick, can keep up with the best of them and will be fantastic. That right side for as you mentioned, the next 10 years or so, it looks like it's been completed. And the idea that they're only 22, 21, they're going to get better and better and better, and hopefully play for their nations as well, continue to go far in their careers, is very, very exciting.
Absolutely. I think we've got a live picture actually of Wesley Fofana's introduction to the Chelsea team today.
Yeah, that's good.
That's fantastic, isn't it? Fantastic. A lot of hype, a lot of encouraging words as well from Wesley Farfana, and a lot of fans having their say outside the ground today as well.
For today's game, probably Farfana. Let's try and seal the back line there. We've been leaking a lot of goals in the back. And probably Kerr won't be able to play today, but that would have been a good player to come in. But I think let's seal the back line. We can get Farfana in the back there, and see probably I'll go for Koulibaly, Thiago Silva, and Farfana. Probably bring Reece James up top there, so at least let's go with the back three. I think that's what I want to see. Yeah.
Honestly, I think Farfana, I think we need to definitely tighten up at the back. You know, we've been leaking a few goals. Southampton, Leeds as well. That's just, I think he's going to add a lot. Young centre back. I mean, it's a lot of money, but he's got a lot of years ahead of him. So I think he's going to be the biggest one for us.
Pretty excited about what's coming this season. You know, we're giving him Champions League football, which he wasn't able to get at Arsenal. I think it's come to the biggest club in London.
I think he's a good, confident striker. I think he'll score a lot of goals for us, and hopefully he bangs at least 15 goals in the season.
I think it's a lovely signing. I do. Hopefully he pulls off an Adebayor and celebrates in front of the Arsenal fans when he scores. But, you know, like I say, I'm excited to see him play. I think he'll play well under Tuchel. I think that might get Pulisic going a bit more as well, obviously because they've played together before, but time will tell, won't it? Hopefully he's in soon.
Love that. Yeah, obviously, Wesley Farfana making his Chelsea debut today. The others will have to wait a little bit longer. Yeah. Good business in general. We'll talk a little bit more in depth when they're involved in the squad, but obviously, Zakaria is the one that's come in from Juventus on loan as well. A bit of a risk-free one, really, on loan with the option to buy.
Yeah, 100%. Obviously, I think Tuchel has kind of made it public that he wanted another midfielder and more of a DM and a physical presence. He said about how he wanted the Chelsea squad to be a bit more tougher, and Zakaria definitely adds that. And you're right. Look, I think it's got an option to buy. If he has a fantastic season, you take that option, and it's a nice way to kind of... It's a trial. It's a trial before you buy kind of thing, and see what happens.
Obviously, some departures you've already mentioned, Jace. Marcos Alonso being one of those departures, won everything at Chelsea, scored some massive goals, scored so many goals against Spurs, which will obviously always leave a smile on every Chelsea fan's face.
I don't think I've known a player in more recent times that divides opinion about the fans than him. I loved Alonso, but there were times where he would make me tear my hair out. Yet he'd pop up and score. He scored big goals, by the way, in big matches. Spurs, City, Arsenal. You look at the goals he scored. The free kick, Bournemouth. He'll have to go against Bournemouth. Look at the goals he scored, and at crucial moments. You know, the header against Arsenal down in the shed end, the winner at Wembley against Spurs. You know, and he always seemed to pop up. And it would be literally, as the ball comes, you go, "It's Marcus." It's another goal. Right foot, left foot, head. Honestly, he will be, his goals are going to be really hard because he picked up some big goals and big moments and got us over the line. So look, I wish him all the best.
Absolutely right. Obviously, we wish all the best as well to other Chelsea players that departed. Billy Gilmour being one, Kennedy, Michy Batshuayi, lots of Chelsea players that departed, all hold a big part in Chelsea hearts. I want to talk to you about Harvey Vale, actually, though, Zach.
Yeah,
mate. He's signed a brand new deal, gone out on loan to Hull. Such an exciting player, been involved in the first team picture already, played in the PL2 game, scored against Manchester City last week as well. Fantastic player, brilliant future, and now Chelsea fans have got another team to keep an eye on in the Championship for this season.
This was the time for him. This was the time. If you look at when Reece and Mason went on their first loan moves as well, it's the exact same age. And to the Championship is such a good breeding ground for your academy products in the Premier League, because the step between the Premier League and the Championship isn't as big as it used to be now, and Hull's an exciting team for him to go to. Look, a solid season in the Championship, and you never know what could happen next year, where maybe it's that loan move to a Premier League club, and then before you know it, you're in the starting lineup for Chelsea. I mean, wish him the absolute best, and to be honest, I don't think he needs the luck because he's a fantastic player, and I think it'll be a success for sure.
A new deal for Armando Broja as well. I'm sure we'll come on to him when he's involved a little bit more as well. He's on the bench again this afternoon. Brilliant impact off the bench on Tuesday though, against Southampton. What a player.
Yeah, disappointed to see that he's not started today. I felt we'd done enough against Southampton to get the nod, in all honesty. We're still trying to work out what the shape is going to be. Physically imposing, brave, aggressive. We've not had a player like that since Costa, probably. But I love the way that he came off the bench in a game where we weren't playing well and added something to our game and gave us real momentum. When he came on, I was doing the comms, and the ball went at the box, and someone just leapt out of nowhere. And he won the header, didn't hit the target. I'm like, that's what we need. We need sometimes. We spoke earlier, didn't we, in the office, about having sometimes just be a little bit more direct and a little bit more central. Sometimes you can overplay, and then you become a bit predictable. So if you go, bang, open your body up, can you play it in the box, have something to go and attack it, and then you get runners in behind. Look, I'm so pleased for him as well, and I'm so glad he didn't go back on loan.
That's a big thing as well, isn't it? Because that's a big confidence boost as well, because a lot of people at the start of pre-season maybe thought maybe he'll get another loan somewhere, maybe even when he left pre-season earlier, perhaps that he wouldn't be a Chelsea player for much longer. The fact that he signed a long-term contract, the fact he made such an impact at the weekend, the fact he's involved again today off the bench potentially, shows that the management and the people above have a huge amount of belief in him.
Well, there are reports out there that he had a sit-down conversation with Tuchel and it went really well, and that he was made to believe that the project is there for him to be involved in and to have a good role in it. I think we forget how young he is. He is still 20, 21 years old. Like he's still very, very young, and he had a successful loan spell in the Premier League. We saw what he can add, and he's only going to get better. Like, he's so quick, he is so direct. He is a good finisher, and I think today it wouldn't shock me if he's one of the first subs to be brought on and see what he's like.
Wouldn't surprise me if he ends up being our second striker this season. I think he'll grow into that role. So Havertz started, he was number 2. Aubameyang's come in. I think it'll be number 1. I think we'll see Havertz find another role in the team.
Yeah.
I think he'll end up having in the season.
It's important to have those different options as well, isn't it? Not just different players, but be able to play a different system. We've seen us play a 4 at the back and a 3 at the back, and I suppose those different systems suit different players, but younger players are easier to mould in. Is that fair?
They are, and you know, so you're working with a blank canvas here, right? So he will now be so eager to learn and listen to what Tuchel's got to say. Aubameyang comes in with a huge amount of experience, right? Imagine that, bro's a young kid, 2020, looking at Aubameyang thinking, right, I'm going to work with you every single day, work how the manager, that relationship, how they work together, what he expects of him, what he wants, the runs. When do I hold my run? Do I go deep? My body's shape when I receive the ball? Do I want to go long? Do I take runners beyond to get players in the space I've left? There's all of this. There's so much work to be done. I can't wait to see I think I'm really excited about him. I really am.
I'm very excited, and when Jason's excited, it's excited for all of us as well. Jason, I'm glad you're here actually, because we do this now. We've got a trivia question now. Last week, me, Zach, and Sam did all right. We did all right. It's not been great so far. We've had sort of fits and starts, but it's a trivia question. We'll give you the answer at half-time. You're not with us at half-time, so I'm hoping to dive into your knowledge, and if you know the answer, don't answer it straight away.
Hand over to you guys.
Write it down on a bit of paper. We'll seal it in an envelope. We'll answer it at half-time. So here is a trivia question for today. This former player-manager scored his only goal for us against West Ham. Who is he?
Former player-manager. Former player-manager for Chelsea, or for... he managed anyone?
That's a good question.
Player-manager
scored his
only goal.
He managed Chelsea. Scored his only goal for us against West Ham. There's only a few that fit into that category. And I'll be honest, last time I was quite smug, so I knew it straight away. I'm going to struggle with that one, I think. Have you got any clues, any ideas? Oh, he knows! Get in, he knows. He knows.
I don't know.
Yeah, you do. I can tell in your eyes. You do.
I don't know.
You do know.
Former player-manager scored his only goal for us against West Ham.
Can I ask a question? Is it player-manager? It's not this club.
Yeah, player-manager of this club.
So he managed this club. Yeah. He managed this club. Only, well, it's definitely not Frank Lampard because he scored more again. He scored a lot more than just against West Ham.
Player-manager at this club.
Okay.
VR.
It's a good shot. If you've got any answers, by the way, we can't see them as cheating, but please put your comments a little bit down below. So, player-manager scored his only goal for us against West Ham.
Mateo scored more than West Ham.
Yeah, OK. Well,
we'll have a think.
We'll be back at half-time.
Sorry. There's no time split. This can be pre-Premier League, right?
Right, this isn't going to be at half-time. Jason's won't be ready at half-time.
This can be pre-Premier League.
But we'll dissect it afterwards, OK? You've got to go and you can tell me your answer in a minute, and we'll get back at half-time.
Okay.
We'll be back in a bit. Time for the warm-up.
Well, another beautiful day at Stamford Bridge on a Saturday with a little bit of fall in the air as we get you ready for today's matchup between Chelsea and West Ham United. Todd Harris alongside Clive Walker, and want to remind you, wherever you go, Travaga is with us. And now they bring us to Stamford Bridge to follow the warm-up of the Blues for the match against West Ham. Well, Clive, has been a tough week this week. If you're a fan of the Blues, obviously going down to Southampton and taking the loss 2-1. A little bit of hope as the transfer window closes, and a lot of optimism with the players they picked up.
Yeah, I think so, and I think it's important that we see things that change slightly. Maybe the new players that will come in will change things for us quite quickly. We need to pick up 3 points today. We need to pick up as many points as we can in the next few weeks, just to keep us in touch with the top 4 and see what happens. But certainly with the window now closed, we know where we're going.
All right, Clive, we're going to put you to work. It's now time for 3 points for 3 points. And we start things off for the Blues, of course. Number 1 will be win our individual battles.
Well, that's for sure. Win our individual battles. I think that's a given with every player when they go out onto the field. They sort of expect to play well, but sometimes you've got to dig in because things don't work out for you. So you look at the player you're up against, and sometimes you say, well, if I can beat him every single time in what I'm doing, whether it's passing, tackling, winning headers, whatever it may be, you want to go in and do well against them. So stand up and be strong, I think, is probably a good example.
Thomas Tuchel asking for a little more physicality from his players this week at his press conference. Number 2, now this seems like a no-brainer. Give the ball to Raheem. When you give the ball to Raheem, good things seem to happen.
Well, I think it's important that Raheem gets himself into the right areas at the right time. It's not always about receiving the ball and receiving it time and time again, because sometimes he's in the wrong position, he's the wrong body shape, but it's also up to him to be able to find those little pockets of space, that little bit of an angle maybe on his defender. We know how quick he is, we know how good he is with his feet. He's not going to win battles with the ball in the air, so don't give it to him in the air. Give it to him into his feet, in good space, at the right time.
Yeah, he's dangerous in space, no question about it. Number 3, get the killer second goal, something they were not able to do down in Southampton on Tuesday.
That's for sure. In some ways, it's becoming a bit of a luxury. I think that we need to do that on a regular basis. I think as well, it's an easy one to call because get the first one is important. Once you've got the first one, you're away and running. But yes, the second goal for sure is massively important for us.
You and I had a chat about the transfer window closing, the optimism obviously in West London now with the players they've brought in. How should fans feel? How should Thomas Tuchel feel? How should the rest of the team feel with today's starting lineup and 5 changes?
Well, I think it's inevitable. There's an expectancy. This is Chelsea Football Club, so we're expecting teams to come here and work us hard. We're expecting Chelsea to play well. We're expecting when we're winning games to show us some quality. go on and get more goals if possible. So there's always an expectancy with Chelsea Football Club, and I think the new signings will have to learn that very, very quickly.
Let's talk about the format that they will implement today here at Stamford Bridge. Is it a hybrid? Is it a 5-3-2? Is it a 4-4? What do you expect and what do you call it?
Well, my first look was a 3-5-2. I think flooding the midfield is not a bad idea. I think obviously Declan Rice is a player who can give us problems when he surges through midfield.
Right.
So maybe find an angle on slowing him down. But I think with the change with Kai Havertz not playing up front, there's no height. So we've got the two smaller guys in Pulisic up front with Raheem. Maybe that will give us a different way of looking at things. And also maybe it might upset West Ham, because West Ham will be thinking, well, we don't know what to expect from Chelsea. So maybe we've thrown a bit of a googly in there, a bit of a different shape, and maybe they'll have to work that out as the game goes on, and we can take an early advantage.
Their manager, David Moyes, he brings in the Hammers off of a tie we talked about against Tottenham earlier this week. What do you expect for them? Do you think they pack in the 11 and just say, hey, maybe we can sneak one behind Chelsea and then just sit back and get out of here with a quick 3 points?
I don't think that's a mental stage that David Moyes goes through, but I think it could be inevitable if Chelsea keep the ball really, really well. And I think if we're keeping the ball well, they're going to have to sit deep and be compact. Yes, they will try and break, and that's certainly going to happen, but I'm sure we can combat that. As I said, you've got more players in midfield, we can deal with it.
Clyde, before we get to some of the X's and O's out here, give me an idea of what you expect from Chelsea as they'll open up today's match, and what do you think they need to do early on to be successful?
Well, score a goal. I think
right off the bat.
The inevitable is going to happen. Scoring a goal is the most important bit. I think keep possession of the ball is important for us. I think it breeds confidence. I think the players like having the ball at their feet. They all like to have a touch. They all like to show that the shape of the side is correct in the early stages, and they feel confident. And I think once we're in a confident mood, we can go on, maybe get that first goal, which does change the picture.
Let me have you look into your crystal ball, because you go back to last April. Chelsea got the 1-0 win over West Ham. Christian Pulisic got that goal late in the game. He's now been inserted into the starting lineup. Is that Thomas Tuchel maybe sending a message that he's an iron killer, or just something he wants to see maybe a change up top?
Well, I think there is something to be said sometimes for players who go to certain grounds or play against certain teams, that they can maybe find those goals that are important. I think the one thing that has been coming is that Christian Pulisic was going to get the opportunity somewhere in the short term, and maybe the result in midweek has reinforced that today, so it's given him an opportunity. And don't forget, the players are disappointed with the result in midweek. They're upset by that, especially having taken the lead. So they'll want to put it right. And I think the training this week would have been very, very good and positive, with a positive thought that we're going to put it right against, again, one of our London rivals.
Almost 3 years since the Hammers came to Stamford Bridge and got a win. You have to go back to November of 2019, Aaron Cresswell's strike to give them win 1-0. So you look at Chelsea coming off a disappointing performance. They're backed into a corner. They need these 3 points, but the Hammers do as well. And obviously, the neighbors just 10 miles away.
Well, yeah, and again, as you rightly said before, it depends what West Ham put out in front of us. Are they coming here thinking, they need a point? It's a London derby, it's away, it's a difficult tie historically. But they might be also thinking, hang on a second, Chelsea didn't play particularly well in midweek. They've got a lot of new signings. They not bed themselves in. So there's a chance for us to take all 3. So both teams today, I think, will be looking for that opportunity to take all 3 points.
Well, the pitch is in perfect condition. The sun is out. Temperatures in the low 20s as the fans continue to make their way inside Stamford Bridge. Just yesterday, though, Thomas Tuchel speaking about the changes and transfers that took place for Chelsea.
Thomas, first of all, good to see you. It's the end of the transfer window. Do you breathe a sigh of relief now?
Yes. Yesterday, 11 o'clock, was my time to become a full-time coach again. So I'm happy.
Good to hear it. It's been a busy week. Let's start off with Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. You must be delighted to get him over the line. Tell us about what you like about him as a character and as a player.
Well, I always liked him, and there was no secret to it. He was like a fantastic player for me in Dortmund, and then was a very important player for Arsenal and had now his short spell in Barcelona. And when the opportunity came up with Barcelona signing some new players, which they did this summer, the opportunity came up, and we discussed the opportunity, we weighed the options, we weighed the plus and minuses, and the pluses are far more than the minuses. And yeah, we were happy because Oba is delighted to play for Chelsea, delighted to play in Premier League and show what he is all about. And he has the feeling that there's some stuff to prove still for him, which there is, and he will do it in a blue shirt. And this is good news because he has still his speed. He has always been a very positive, very, very happy person in general, and a top professional. So from here we go.
We've seen that personality shine through already, but there seems to be sort of real leadership qualities within him as well.
Yes, but I think he is best if he does not, if he can take his leadership by scoring and by performing. He is not the guy to give speeches. He is not the guy to lead by example and be like half an hour earlier. He loves to be on time, and this is not a problem. It's kind of his personality. He is in every training. He is normally never injured over the years. He is available and he's hardworking on the pitch, and this is how he takes responsibility. I would not describe him as a leader that you think about in general, like an Aspi who takes care about more than just about his role on the field. Oba takes care about that he is in shape and he helps the team on the pitch, and this is what we like.
Talking of exciting players, let's talk about Wesley Farfana. What do you like about him?
His age, his speed, his craziness on the field. He is like doing. He is a bit overdoing, he's aggressive, he loves the challenges, and he's young, and it's a good mix because it's a new step for him, a new step into a club that competes for titles and for top four. So it's a very good situation, very good moment for him to come and to join our team.
You mentioned the speed there briefly, Thomas. That right-hand side with him and with Reece, that's exciting.
Yeah, they need to find now together and how to play together, but of course they should be a good fit and a good match, and we have to keep it going now.
Let's talk about Denis Zakaria as well. Talk to us about him as a midfielder and what you think he will add to this group.
He's very physical, he's tall, he's super fast. I think that gives him the opportunity to play in back three, but to play also in midfield and maybe even as a wing back. Given the situation with N'Golo Kanté injured, with Kova a little bit on the edge between surgery or not surgery, with Ruben Loftus-Cheek having a hamstring issue very early in the season, we saw an opportunity very late and got Dennis in, who's a fantastic guy. I know him from Germany, how he played there for Gladbach. And he was always very humble, was always like a very interesting player for all teams in Europe because of his profile, and now it's on him to adapt quickly and to show what he's capable of.
Thomas Tuchel speaking to the brilliant Lee Parker yesterday. Yeah, we get the sense that he's very pleased that the transfer window's over, because I can imagine for managers it's their long days, you know, and they're constantly asked the same question. We're going to talk about Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang at half-time. We're going to do a big bit on him. Obviously, he's not involved today, but he will be involved some point very soon, we hope indeed. Obviously, Wesley Farfana is the one that does start today, but in general, it's going to take a little bit of time for players to get settled and to get sort of acclimatised and accustomed to their new surroundings. But with Wesley, and like Lee really well put there towards Thomas Tuchel, the fact that he has that relationship already existing, we've touched on with Reece James, feels that it's not a thrown in. You know, he's only been here a couple of days, but it feels very much like he's ready and he knows this.
Yeah, I think one of the benefits as well with this Chelsea squad, it's still so young, and they will know each other from Instagram, or have seen each other play, or know each other from like academy football, whatever it might have been. Saint Etienne are a fantastic youth side. They've brought up many young prodigies and products from their academy, and I'm sure maybe they've crossed paths in some way, shape or form. I think the Chelsea squad is an easy one to get into. You know, everyone is a likeable guy. Everyone is more than willing to battle for their place, and it's all about what happens on the pitch. And I think you'll see that. It's going to be really interesting, the beginning of this relationship of Reece James and Wesley Farfana. And it could be the beginning of something that we see for a long, long time. And it's only just the beginning.
I love that balance within the squad now as well. You've got the experienced pros of Thiago Silva, players that have been there and won everything. Kalidou Koulibaly, Edu Mendy, both AFCON winners 6-7 months ago now. Players that have won the Champions League. Christian Pulisic, who comes in with a huge amount of national pressure on it when he plays for his country. And then you've got the likes of Wesley Farfana, younger players that are coming through. Armando Broja as well, younger players come through the academy. There's such a blend between everyone. It's rare that you see that blend work so well. And I know that obviously we're going to say that because we're Chelsea fans, but it does feel like a family with the training ground. You see the unseen extra footage that goes out on YouTube on a Friday. Everyone seems to be in a good place and they enjoy each other's company. That's so important to have that, because other football clubs, big football clubs, don't have that.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's also something that you've seen develop over more, say, recent years, where with players like with social media and the way things like go out on YouTube and things, you have access to that kind of thing. You didn't really have access to that kind of back in the day, whether it was with, say, United or even when we had JT and Lampard. Just wasn't really a thing that was going out on social media because Instagram, Twitter, and that wasn't as big. Not everyone had it. Whereas, yeah, to see that today, and like you're so right, like to have the experience of someone like Thiago Silva playing at the back next to someone like who's Wesley Farfana, who there's such a big age gap. You wouldn't know that with the way that Thiago Silva plays, but someone to learn from, and that's kind of all over the pitch. Now you've got Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang coming in, and Broja can learn from him, and even in midfield with some of the young guys that we brought in as well that are playing academy football, and you think one day will also make it to the first team. They can be learning, or someone like Conor Gallagher can take tips and learn from the likes of Kovacic, the likes of Kanté, and so on and so forth. Yeah, it's a really nice blend in that squad, and I think hopefully we'll continue to see it only get better and better, and that's what it's been like for the past few years, to be quite honest.
Absolutely right. Not just here as well. Emma Hayes, Chelsea women are doing
100%.
exactly the same. They're very, very active in the transfer market, brought in some fantastic players, some winners, some players that are going to add to that culture. Obviously, they get their WSL campaign underway week tomorrow against West Ham United. It's exciting as well because obviously the summer that we've had in this country with the Women's Euros as well, there's such an appetite for it. You can still get your tickets, by the way. If you haven't already, do make sure you get them. It's going to be packed next Sunday here at Stamford Bridge. So excited for it. So excited for the season as well. And I don't like doing this, but I'm going to do it. I genuinely think we can go all the way in
every competition.
The Champions League, definitely. The WSL, definitely. And I'm hoping at least either the FA Cup or the Conti Cup as well.
Yeah, I mean, the WSL is kind of the one that it feels like every single year the bare minimum is to win it every single year, and it's very, very impressive to see kind of Todd Bowley and co come in and they've said, like, we're here for every single part. We want them to be successful. We want them to go far, and we've seen them do that in the academy. They brought in players in the men's team. They've brought in players in the women's team. They've brought in the best players, and yeah, there's a slight feeling, I think, especially in the country, as you mentioned, with the Women's Euros, that there's an excitement. There's an excitement for the season to start, and yeah, if Chelsea can go all the way and get that Champions League, like it'll be a good season, that's for sure.
It does feel as well, doesn't it? It was a proper statement at the start of the summer to bring in Yves Perisset and bring in Kadisha Buchanan, both players that have got experience playing in, especially Kadisha Buchanan, who's won it 5 times with the Champions League. It's very much a statement, and we had this opportunity with the men's team after 2008, where you felt it was only a matter of time before you got over the line. You got so close, and it felt only a matter of time before you get that Champions League final win. It really does feel like that, and we know how brilliant Emma Hayes is, and that's the one for her, I think, now, isn't it? It feels very much like not all eggs in one basket, definitely not, but certainly that is going to be a priority for Chelsea this season.
Well, of course, she'll always say she wants to go final every single one, and she wants to win the league, and I'm almost guaranteed that she does. But like anyone, right, the one that you haven't won yet will always be in the back of your mind and thinking, getting that medal, getting that trophy, seeing us lift it is what I really, really want to accomplish. And I'm sure that is one of the main aims, is to get to that final and to go one step beyond and make sure that they're lifting that trophy. And by the acquisitions that they've brought in, it's definitely going to help out the squad. We know what Emma Hayes is like. She wants really tough competition there. You have to fight for your place. You need to be on top form to make sure you're starting week in, week out. And with the players that they're signing, I mean, it's definitely one step towards that for sure.
Absolutely right. And like you've already said, you know, that improvement throughout the club has happened with the academy, with the women's team, with the men's team as well. 5 changes Thomas Tuchel has made from the team that got beaten against Southampton on Tuesday night, including a debut for Wesley Farfana in a back 5 alongside Thiago Silva, Kalidou Koulibaly, Marc Cucurella and Reece James. It's going to be a big one. It's Derby Day. Chelsea versus West Ham United. Stamford Bridge kickoff and commentary coming your way next.
Well, it doesn't get much better than this. Saturday afternoon in West London. The temperature just about right. Clive, especially after what we've been through this summer with the temperatures in the 40s. So the fans here are enjoying this short sleeve weather, but not too warm.
No, I think you're right. I think the weather just beginning to just drop slightly from what we've had. Of course, it's been boiling hot, and I think the fans will enjoy today, but you tend to feel through September those weather conditions could change.
Well, the fans continue to pour into the bridge on a beautiful Saturday afternoon. One of those rare Saturday matchups as West Ham, the Hammers, come calling, looking for a big 3 points. And the Blues just as desperate for those 3 points after what happened in Southampton earlier this week.
I think it's one thing that, you know, when you're playing at home, you want the 3 points because that's what the home fans expect. And I think the travelling fans will take anything they can. But I think from our perspective, another 3 points just keeps us in touch with the top 4, and that's where we need to be.
Big changes in the starting lineup. We'll have that for you momentarily before the start of today's game. Thomas Tuchel making 5 changes from the team that started on Tuesday in the loss at Southampton as the players now make their way out onto the pitch. And I've got to think the players are happy to see this pitch as opposed to what they saw in Southampton after that heavy rain.
Well, yeah, there were some complaints about the pitch, but, you know, these days the pitches are usually so good that any form of condition change for the weather can upset the apple cart slightly. However, yeah, it's the same for both teams, as they say, and you have to play on the pitch that you're given. But, yeah, Stamford Bridge, perfect situation. The fans are in, the atmosphere is rising all the time, and the pitch condition looks absolutely immaculate.
I was going to say, back in your day, was there one pitch that you just dreaded going to because it was just awful all the time?
Yeah, it was just awful. It was the ones that you like to go where they were really good. And the one that comes to mind, of course, is Man United. Yep. Always one of the best pitches. Yep. And the other one, of course, is Wembley when you ever got the opportunity. So, yeah, we did have 1 or 2 good pitches in those days. Nothing like today, of course.
Now the pitch is set. The fans are on their feet. Stamford Bridge near capacity crowd as we get to the 6th matchup of the season as the Blues look to add another win to their total. Right now, 2 wins, 1 draw, 2 losses. And maybe the biggest story right now, Clive, is the lack of goals that the Blues have been able to generate.